hard. Well, we'll try, I guess. You explain your theory of how and why Gunnar's group came to set their sights in the village, but as you listen to your own words, you realise how weak it all sounds. Gunnar seems completely unimpressed as well, snorting derivatively at several points throughout. In the end, you're left standing feeling somewhat deflated, and your prisoner fixes you with a blank stare. You speak not a single word of sense. Ha! I simply came to hear about your village from a travelling merchant in Kaupang. That's all. I have nothing more to add. And how is it the beacons weren't lit? Perhaps the watchmen were doing a shit job of keeping watch. In their defence, we were being very quiet. What is your relationship to School Skullcleaver? Gunnar's expression remains completely blank. Never heard of the man. Is he some big deal down here? As you know, I'm not exactly from these parts. Want me to believe you sailed down from Kaupang to steal my mother's jewellery? Your village lies along a major trade route. I assumed you would be wealthy. I know you're lying, so I'll make you an offer. Reveal who's sent here, and I'll swear I'll let you go free. Ulfedin regards you through squinted eyes. You swear it? What is such an oath worth to me? Then he nods. Well, all right. I accept your offer. I met School Skullcleaver in Orkneyar. He swore your village was a worthwhile target, wealthier than the painted ones and far less fierce. He was either lying or mistaken. What is Orkneyar? I mean, I know it's the Orkneys. A smile creeps across Gunnar's lips and he leans forward slightly. You have heard stories of the islands to the west of the sea. Orkneyar are the northernmost of these islands. Many Northmen have come to take land from the tribes that live there. There are stories of a great kingdom to the south, with great concentration of wealth and little in the way of defences. We never made it that far south. Perhaps I will return to those islands and explore further in the future. And who are the painted ones? They are the tribes who live in the north and the isle across the sea. They are called the Picts. Their weapons are poor and their homes are primitive by our standards, but they fight fiercely and live in harsh conditions. All in all, they're not worthwhile targets for raids, but their lands are fertile, and so far we've been able to keep them in check. I'll discuss these findings with my confidants. We'll talk again later. Don't forget your oath, Thane Mordred. I'll be awaiting my release. Ha! Okay, discuss Gunnar's information with the Rascals. I should have seen the connection. Yeah, Thane Skule mentioned his ties to Kaupang in the feast, and there's a group of Northmen attacking us out of the blue. What does he stand to gain from this? He must intend to weaken us ahead of the next old thing. He is a slimy viper playing political games. I won't stand for it. I don't know. We won't find out by standing and talking. Oh, he's definitely trying to weaken us. Do you believe he's really been to the Isles across the sea? And Gunnar as well? Could be. He said that they crossed far to the north and found only tribes, but the stories of the larger kingdom to the south are true. Perhaps that's where Magnar went. If the stories are true, there is much opportunity there. I would love to follow my father's footsteps to see what he saw. Your father lost his life exploring those islands. Remember that before you follow his footsteps too far. You're much too young to be so cynical. We should take this Austrider and hear what she says, what she thinks. Right, she knows school a lot better than we do. Okay, let's have a word with the mother. Wait, do you have something to say? Oh, you do. So you beat Aslefer, did you? That's impressive. I must admit, I thought he'd win. But I'm just glad to see you both alive and well. Can you repair my damaged stuff? You can. This is the repairing menu. This may be the only simple menu in the game. Savour it. Here, you'll be able to select the weapons you want to repair during a shift. The amount of items you can repair is only limited by the available resources. I mean, I don't think it's actually that good. So, cancel. Is everything well with you in the smithy? Depending on what you need me to do, yes, I have everything I need to make carving knives, repair bristles, or fix slave collars. If you need weapons or armor, you'll need to find a better equipped smith. Old Hunter and Reeb is a fine smithy. He should be able to handle any requests you may have. Could you make weapons and armor if I get you what you need? I could. It's not my skill that holds me back, it's the tools. What about equipment? This is the crafting menu. Crafting converts salvage into weapons or hides into armor. These are the crafting skills of the herdman who's crafting. The skill rank determines the maximum item tier you can build, which in turn determines the amount of resources for each weapon. Start by selecting which type of item you want to craft. You can only craft armor and helmets if you have the armor smithing skill. So if I were to have you make a new sword... it would cost 600 salvage, of which we have 800. And 5 salvage, which is exactly what we have. Here you see a preview of the item you're about to build. If you accept this as the item that will be added to your inventory. Use the durability of the item as an indicator of the overall quality. Items have 1 point of durability per unit of salvage, or hide spent creating them. Click here to confirm the item when you're happy with it. If you change your mind, you can always cancel by simply closing the window. So if I wanted to make armor, I could do cloth armor. How many hides do we have? We have 6 hides. So we could make level 2 cloth armor. Theoretically, we can make level 4 cloth armor. Damage reduction of 9. I want to see how this compares to my other equipment, though. 9-6. How about this weather, huh? Yes, the frost has lasted very long this year. This time last year, the snowdrops already started sprouting. At least the forge keeps me warm, so my work isn't impaired too much. So my armor right now is a, wow, 3620. It's much higher quality than what he was proposing to craft. Nine 11, 13 9, 11 11. Six 6. So this is really quite poor quality. Check skill points, just got 10. Okay, I'll take a look. Reba, okay. Similar to Expedition Conquistadors, I played that one a lot. Yes. Seven to 14 damage on the sword. Which is again less than the heirloom sword. I'm guessing it's more than his. So it would be an upgrade of his. In fact, single-edged sword. I wonder if I could just upgrade what he's already got. Blood ice, hold on. Jarl Ragnhilda sent this sword after your father's funeral with her compliments by the way you handled Anlinger's sons. Runes delicately engraved along its narrow crossguard spell the name Blood Ice. Hold on, let's use that. That looks good. 9 to 16, 12 to 18. It does indeed. 2 more, which then means that I can give the heirloom sword to Icelafer. Your father inherited this sword from his father, who probably inherited it from his. It's a reliable weapon, but it lacks modern innovations. Your father never used it on his expeditions. And then these two use knives. Okay, so we got a couple of upgrades there. And one of us should probably equip the mead. Probably me. Oh, numbing tincture is a heal. Let's also have that. Cool. So is there anybody else I can speak to? If I move out of the way here. Okay, blacksmith is a separate thing there. So if I move over this way... I wonder if I can get anything from the hunter. Conquistadors was hard as hell. I imagine this opus will be too. I don't think it's going to be as hard. Plus, I did lower the difficulty a little because I know what Conquistadors was like and it was a bit ridiculous. I mean, I can loot this place clean. But it's not my house. I'm not going to. Stuff that's out in the public, fine. No, that's actually Kettle's home. Oh, Kettle's coming with us. So you know what? We can loot Kettle's home. I'll save it first, though, just in case. Right. For a hunter's meal, this stew looks and smells surprisingly unappetizing. Clearly all the good meat is sold to others. Hide armor. That's an upgrade. A layer of pine tar from the kiln outside still covers the inside of this barrel. Lottia makes the tar to sell to neighbouring villages. This is her house. I thought as much. Kettle sometimes sleeps in the longhouse when Sigurd and Yoltil need some private time. So it's all of their house. Okay. Well, we have some hide armor that we can give to somebody. It is not as good as what I'm wearing, but it's definitely a massive upgrade for you. So now both of us are pretty heavily armored. Right, so what other houses could we get into? I know there were one or two. This one. Impolite to impose yourself at this hour. This hour? It's hardly a bad hour. It's clearly daytime. If it said it would be impolite for you to impose yourself upon them because she's dying of the plague, then fair enough. Alright, let's go and have a word with the mother. Yeah, I'd say... I think that's going to be after I talk to the mother to see what she has to say. Did the man talk? What did you find out? Skullcleaver is behind this. He's been working against us for months. Thane Skull has been to the islands across the sea. He recruited the Northmen there. Our neighbours are conspiring to weaken us. I'm going to say the second one. Skull is the cause? Then it's worse than I thought. How? The Northmen have started settling in the isles across the sea. Skull met the raiders there and convinced them that we were easy pickings. And we were. The raid was our own fault. Our defences are inadequate. We'll deal with that later. If Skull is acting against us, do you know what this means? He'll try to get control of our clan from Sigurd in the next Alting. Skull is a powerful enemy. We have no standing to defeat him. We'll find no help against Skull. Nobody would risk it. I don't know. We're going to go the political route. That must be his ultimate plan, yes. This gives him almost a year to weaken us further in the eyes of the king, and nobody will help us against him. He holds great favour with the king, so we can expect no political protection. Further, Yelling is a large territory with many fine warriors, so we can't possibly face him in battle. Third, he all but controls trade with Kaupang, a route so profitable as to rival the trade from Saxony through Ribe. We have almost a year until the next Alting. There must be something we can do. I got nothing. So we can either cross the sea and plunder the unprotected coast, we can seek political allies elsewhere, the Great Kingdom across the sea with their support may be able to resist the attempts to subjugate us, or we need to build our own trade routes. School has Kalpang, we'll get the Isles across the sea. Either 2 or 4. I don't think that us saying, right, we're going to go to England to try and make them allies. We know nothing about them. So it's either plunder or trade. Four, plunder, trade. Lots of people saying trade. Let's go the trade routes. Everyone stops to consider the implications. Dark looks are exchanged, heavy with doubts and worry, but nobody appears able to come up with a compelling alternative. Finally, a father sighs. I see no other option. Your first act as Thane will be to leave your clan just like your father. Nofia rolls her eyes so hard at Aslifer you can almost hear them strain in their sockets. Do you have anything to contribute other than more complaints about Magnar? Do you have any rebuttal to offer better than, nah? I know you're sworn to serve Mordred, but if you're so afraid to leave, I'm sure you convince your Thane to let you stay. Aslifer crosses his arms and shifts his weight impatiently. I'll follow if so ordered. In fact, I'll be glad to go. However, our duties lie here with the clan. There won't be much of a clan for longer if we don't do something to counter school. Think about the glory we can find across the sea, the treasure, the battles. We're not going for the glory, we're going to save the clan. The scolds will sing of our deeds for years to come. I mean, that'll make Kettle happy, but we're a pragmatist. We're not going for the glory. I may not agree with your decision, but I respect your reasoning. I'm with you. Then we must begin to make preparations immediately. We have 2 months until spring. You'll need a new ship and a real herd to crew it. Your Huskarls alone won't be enough. We need cargo to trade, if trade is what you're planning. We should ask Torfinn if he's up to the task of building a longship. There are a few fighting men left in the clan. We must have some to protect the village. We should bring trade goods. What little wealth further will left us will be spent on the feast. What little wealth father left us was spent on the feast. Don't plan to do any trading, or good, we got a plan. Let's see if Torfinn is up to the task of building a longship. If I know Torfinn at all, he's been dreaming of such a task for a long time. A few fighting men left in the village. We must leave some to protect the village. Then maybe we should consider asking Gunnar to join us. I was thinking just that too. Are you mad? That is mad, but it might not be a bad idea. You saw him fight. We want a man like that on our side. But can we trust him? He's a brute, but if he'll swear fealty, he'll be our brute. Considering his present situation, I'm sure he can be won over. We'll give him a chance, but we need more crew than him. You'll need at least a crew of 10 for the longship. If you take my advice on this, go to the market in Reba and make your plans public. Many have heard the stories of that bountiful coast. You should find no shortage of volunteers. We should also bring some trade goods. I have an idea for that. I'm sure I know what you're going to suggest. Remember Adis told us the ancient grave in Funen, where they say a king and the queen were buried with all their wealth? I knew it. If that's true, we should sell the loot and fill the whole ship with cargo. If the story were true and the grave could have been robbed generations ago. Let's at least talk to Adis about it and ask what she thinks. Sure. It does sound whimsical, but Adis is wise and well-grounded. Talking to her wouldn't hurt. Good, we've got a plan. Then, begin the preparations, my son. I'll start pulling some strings and we can learn about school's activities and plans. I'll hate to see you leave, but I know you'll do your father proud. Your brother and I will watch over the clan in your absence. That's a whole lot of new skills. And yes, we're going to have a word with Gunnar. Let's talk to Rurik first, though. What's up, bro? Rurik greets you with a grin. Rurik greets you with a smile as always, but it's not reflected in his eyes. How's it going, brother? Have you been keeping an eye on the clan for me? Of course. You can spare a moment about the preparations. You should talk to Bjordis. Eifura has been getting worse, it seems. You seemed a bit dour since the raid. Your brother holds your gaze for a moment, then lets out a long breath. I know you said I acted correctly, but it just doesn't feel that way. I'll remember that failure whenever my mind is idle. I can't help it. I keep reliving the helplessness I felt. I see the way the others look at me. They say nothing, but they think I'm weak, unmanly. They're right. A man who can't protect his family is no man at all. The others are wrong. I'm your brother, and I know your strength, the strength of your wisdom and your kindness. Wisdom and kindness, not the qualities of a warrior. That's why you're the Thane instead of me. In a better world, you would be a great Thane. Wisdom and kindness are qualities any true ruler should possess. We've been given a world where strength of the arm is all people respect. It's clear your brother sees the truth in your words, but it doesn't appear to make him feel any better. You hit the nail on the head there, I think. I simply don't belong. I never have. A darkness seems to settle over him. The sooner I face that, the sooner I'll find a way forwards. Thank you for being straight with me. You're good. I know I'm good. Skills. I need to check skills.
I heard you're leaving. I want to join you.
Oh. Why do you wish to join? It'll be dangerous. You'll have to contribute. Sure. Glad to have you on board. Why? Do I really need a reason? Yes. It's just time to leave, you know. I owe a lot to old Hulda, but I've learned all I can from her, and I still don't know enough. I hear it's a big world out there. It's dangerous. You'll have to contribute. Well, do you think there's a small chance if you might get hurt in this really dangerous trip? You know, those herbs aren't just for making people sick, right? You're a healer? Of course, that's what witches do, you know? Absolutely. She smiles, a proper smile for once, showing teeth and everything. Thank you. I'll find someone to take care of Hulda while we're gone. Okay, so then there were 5. And what are you good at? Roskvar, sense 10. Roskvar's Talisman. Roskvar has carried this foxbone talisman for as long as she can remember. Hulda was claimed it was made by Roskvar's father. +1 morale. She has a sling and a dagger. So we need to have a word with Gunnar. Let's see what we can do with you. Gunnar is still where you left him. The hog is curiously sniffing his pants. Good to see you again. Have you decided what to do with me? I have an offer for you. I want you to join my herd. I accept. I didn't expect that to be so easy. Ha! Why should I reject such an offer? You showed remarkable prowess in defeating my men. I'd love to fight by your side. Ketil cuts Gunnar's ropes. Well, we'll find you a place to stay. For now, we can at least get you out of this pig pen. The wolf head into stretches, squeezes his wrists to get the blood flowing again, then puts a huge hand out to seal the deal. I swear before Odin to follow wherever you ask and serve you with my life. That was easier than I expected. He is flipping massive compared to like the rest of the group. Crikey. Alright. Do you Dane axe? You have a bearded axe and a wooden Dane axe. Which is the same as the axe that we have, except my axe is worse quality. What skills do you have? Axe and axe. You have no sword skills. Okay, that's fine. I was wondering if I could give you my other sword, but you don't have the skill for it, really. Anyway, I have 23 skill points now. So you are going to be high utility support skills. You are a healer, and a pretty good one at that. And witchcraft. You're also really good at witchcraft. So yeah, you are super good in support. Cunning, superstitious, greedy, and independent. We have a lot of greedy characters. Open-minded, greedy, and optimistic, and aggressive. We have a lot of aggressive characters too. Governed by sense. Golda lets you use war cries for party-wide bonuses. Oh, that's what that is. I was like, what is this? Ah, Tyr's favour and Boulder's favour. So he also shouts at people. Super strong, super endurance. Terrible perception. Blind as a bat. Okay, so what skills do I want? Well, I was thinking nimble. Although if I'm tanking, then I don't necessarily need to move. Your shield, is it higher quality than mine? Pine shield, absorption 48, block chance 1, fizz res 1. Your shield, absorption 46, block chance 6, fizz res 5. So you do have slightly more absorption, but mine has way better block chance. Icelanders and the Danes are having an argument in chat. Alright, so, skills. I still don't really know what skills I want to get. I feel like we should get something in crafting, but whom? Gunnar, maybe? You've got repair, you've got guard. Yeah, there's quite a few people with guard. The one thing I do want you to get is heavy sleeper, because I think that means you can just do more stuff. But all the people that actually have skill points right now have heavy sleeper. You know what? Who doesn't? He doesn't. So let's get you heavy sleeper. You've now spent 73, so we're getting closer to the amount required. Okay, so you're a preserver and a cook. Let's get you level 2 cooking. Then I guess Gunnar becomes the weaponsmith, then I become the armorsmith? Can't do it yet. And then that leaves Ketil. Ketil is going to be also more in preserving, so that you can preserve the food that you hunt. Oh, you should probably also be a tinker. Okay. So, who else do we need to speak to?